was in sales for title for 5 years after that. And I was young, so it was a little bit harder for me up in North County. And I always tried to act like someone that I wasn't. I was trying to act like I was older than myself. And that really hurt my sales. So that is like a big thing. A lot of my competition would tell my clients, oh, she's too young, she doesn't know anything, or oh, she just gets deals because she's pretty. And so like all those comments always went into my head, and I always felt like I wasn't good enough. And so I never really pushed myself in title. And then I got opportunity 3 years ago to switch over to the escrow side, which is career suicide because you have to start all over because everyone already has an escrow rep. And so it wasn't an easy transition, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make the leap. But the company I was at wasn't supporting me how I wanted to be supported. So I jumped, I took the leap, and I switched territories. So I moved downtown, which I knew no one downtown, so I had to start all over. And I started a company that no one knew about. So I had to brand the company, which we used to be Finest City Escrow, and brand myself and start all the way over. And that first year, I did better than any year I've ever done in title, because I finally got to be myself, brand myself, market myself, and then each year I kept rising and rising and rising. So this is my third year now in escrow, and I'm so glad I took the leap and finally get to help people how I want to help them, which is very different than a lot of the other reps out there. I like to brand myself and do a lot of social media and throw a lot of events. So it's a little bit different twist, but this is how I like to do it, and this is how I like to get clients as well. So let's see. Oh, and last year I had one of my best revenue months I've ever had in my career. I wanted to get above 100,000 revenue, and I hit it, so I was very excited. And then this year my goal is to get over 100K each month. So I want to get 1.2 million in revenue this year. Okay. And yeah, now your turn.
Also, I wanted to say, if you have a chair that's facing around, you can feel free to move them if that's more comfortable for you. But yeah, so my name's Randa. I started in real estate September 2021, so I'm almost 3.5 years in now. I came from a background of working customer service jobs since I was 14. I was a server, retail, and then for almost 5 years I worked at Wells Fargo Bank, which gave me a really good foundation getting into mortgages later on. But I was a teller for Wells Fargo, was a manager there for some time, and I really started to get sick, same with Briana, of like being in an office in a bank branch, 9 to 6 really were my hours. And so I was looking for something that had more time freedom and just the choice of how to run a business. So I stumbled upon real estate. I had an old family friend that was a mortgage broker. And so he needed an assistant at the time. Interest rates were like 2% and 3%. So I started working for him before I got my license, doing a lot of, honestly, like processing work, learning how loans worked and things like that. He had been in the business for a little over 20 years. So he didn't teach me a lot on like the business development side because he already had a really strong clientele database. Where he got a lot of referrals from there, but definitely learned like the structure of mortgages and how to put them together. Fast forward about 6 months into that, interest rates started to creep up, his pipeline started to go down, and he cut me part-time, and I couldn't afford to work part-time, so I decided in June of 2022 to get my license for myself, work under a mortgage company. And that was a big learning experience because, like I said, I had to learn all the business development stuff. The company I worked for never gave me leads, nothing like that. So I was really starting a business from scratch, branding myself. The company that I worked for back then was also not local to San Diego, so no one knew of their brand. So I didn't really have that to fall back on either. And for the first 6 months of having my license, you know, I was coming from that like employee mindset. There was a lot of things that I had to learn personally about myself, a lot of habits and relationships that I needed to change in order to succeed. So at that time, I was not putting in a whole lot of effort. I was doing like cold outreach, like through text to realtors. I was starting a social media page, and I was also in a really toxic relationship. and drinking a lot, going out, just all around unhealthy. And so it took me about 6 months to get my first loan. And that was actually through a cold call to a realtor. And he just kind of liked how I sounded on the phone and gave me my first deal. And it went really well. I actually have them as a repeated client now, so that's great. But yeah, it took me 6 months to get that. And then in 2023 as a whole, I did 6 loans. So, I mean, not super great, but not horrible either for your first year. And then through that, you know, there was a lot of changes. I realized I had to let go of that relationship, started building healthier habits in terms of like exercising regularly, you know, getting up early, journaling, reading, just kind of pouring into myself more because I was realizing I was really getting in my own way. So in 2024, I did a lot of changes. In June, I completely gave up alcohol, so I'm like 7-8 months sober now, which honestly was like the biggest pivot. And I also switched mortgage companies in the middle of the year. So a local broker here in San Diego, Josh was in here, but that's who owns the company. So he's helped me a lot too with just building a brand and stuff like that. So in 2024, I did 10 million in volume, 18 loans for the year. So I actually 3 times my business in a year. So excited to teach you all. Thank you. Excited to teach you all what I've learned through that journey. And in 2025, I have a really big goal of doing 500,000 in income. So breaking that down, it's about 8 loans a month. I'm averaging like 4 to 5 right now, which means I need you all to give me your buyer clients.
Yeah, basically this presentation is give me escrow, give her blood. And we're done. I'm kidding.
But that's an income too. So like I also have a goal to do a flip this year, and then maybe some other things in the works that might give me some more income as well. But yeah. So going into just kind of talking about like goals and mindset, I feel like Briana and I are huge on mindset and making sure personally everything is good here so that you can pour into your business. Because honestly, that's what's going to stop a lot of people from being able to keep the commitments that they want to make to themselves, to others, to their business. So I know for me, like journaling was a huge one. This is a really great journal. It's called Inside and Out. And then there's also another journal that I've used and I gifted Briana called Soul Therapy. And it all has like prompted journal entries for each day, which really just helps with reflection.
Each day is different.
Yeah, kind of organizing thoughts and getting clear on where you want to be and who you want to be and all of that good stuff. I know like meditation, exercise. I know for Briana and I, we both go to sleep early, get up early. Yeah.
But yeah, and then also a big part, well, and I do a gratitude journal every morning too, just to make yourself in a positive mindset. This one's really good. They have like guide colors as well. But it breaks it down for like morning and night for reflection. And so I love this. But that is the biggest change is exercising, journaling, meditating, because you can get so much in your head and just to get it on the paper is huge. And then that second biggest thing is goals. So if you don't set your goals for the year, how are you going to make them? You know, and also a big thing is looking at it all the time. So what I do every year is I make a vision board. So this is like my vision board for this year. And then I frame it too so I can put it somewhere where I see it every single day. And so, and if you haven't made a vision board and want to, I literally have all the supplies. I keep it around every year. I throw a vision party every year, which I did last month. So if you really want to make one, you can come over to my house and make one because I make all my friends. Like all my friends, I was literally told them, I said, look, I'm going up. If you want to come up with me, you can. If you're going to stay behind, like, I don't know if I can still like hang out with you. But I basically made them all make vision boards, write down their goals so then we can all move up together. But I think that's a big thing is either write down your goal where you see the written goal every single day or somewhere like a vision board so you can see what you're aiming for, what you're doing, and then also tracking it. Tracking is so huge in this business. You need to see how many calls you're doing, door knocking, open houses, and how many orders you get and kind of convert everything to see if you are reaching your goals as well. Yeah. Which I have up here, Greatness Tracker. This one is amazing. You can edit it to change exactly how you want it as well. So if you guys want copies of anything too, we'll send you guys everything. But yeah, so the greatness tracker is so huge and so easy just to write down, just so you can track everything every single day.
Yeah. And the reason why we're going over all of this is because, you know, it's great to know what sphere like leads you're going to be focusing on. It's great to know the activities to do, but if personally and you don't know where you're going isn't aligned, it's really hard to do those things. So we wanted to touch on those things first because that's really the first thing that you need to do. And on top of that, pouring into yourself, educating yourself, really knowing what's important, and just learning, pouring into yourself so you can pour into others is like the biggest thing that I learned. So these are a handful of the books that I feel like personally completely changed my life and my business, as well as some of the podcasts. So Be Seen, really great book if you're looking to brand yourself. It talks all about different networking tips, branding tips, building a vision for yourself, being clear on your goals, things like that. You Are a Badass at Making Money, also a really amazing book to help get clear on your money goals, why it's important, help shatter some limiting beliefs about making a lot of money. I know for me, I did not come from like a financially wealthy or stable family at all. I shared a room with my mom and sister until I was 17 years old. So for me, like shattering those limiting beliefs and getting comfortable with the idea of making a lot of money was really important. And then it also gave me a passion to educate others on doing the same thing and why that's important as well. Rich AF is really good to educate yourself on different investment strategies, budgets, different instruments out there that you can utilize. And that's actually helped me share and educate my clients and stuff as well. So not only are you pouring into yourself with this stuff, but it's actually a tool that you can use to educate your clients and share with them. I know a big part of my follow-up is sending people books, sending people podcasts, having conversations around that to kind of step away from the typical like salesy real estate conversations and really connect on a personal level with people. Alex Hormozy is amazing when it comes to branding and building a business. So $100 million offers, $100 million leads, such good books. Also, most of these are on Spotify for free in the audiobook section. So if you don't want to physically read them, they're there to listen.
If not, Audible's also really good.
Yeah, Audible's great too. The Big Leap, I actually do a Women in Business book club every month. So that's for all industries. We've read all of these books together. The Big Leap is the most recent one, and it talks a lot about just, you know, again, limiting beliefs on moving into that next step, different zones of excellence and genius and stuff, and how you can step into that. Podcasts, the Real Estate Bigger podcast is great, especially if you're newer and you need just a foundation on even just how real estate works, different terms to use, different strategies in the market. Mel Robbins is great, Ed Milet, they all have really inspiring people on there, other business owners that are really successful, even just like around health or neuroscience or things like that, and that has helped me immensely too.
Yeah, I mean, knowledge is so important, so just reading books or listening to podcasts can just help your game so much more. And I love all of these books and podcasts as well. And big shout out to Randa because I love her book club. I'm her number one fan. I've been there every single month.
My most loyal member.
But yeah, they're all amazing books to read, so they can just help you up your game so much faster and quicker.
Yeah. So stepping into lead generation pillars, social media, circle prospecting, building a farm, sphere of influence, referrals and open houses, all of these pillars work. They're all gonna work. But what we've seen a lot of times is when agents or just anyone building a business tries to do all of them,
it doesn't work.
Yeah, it usually doesn't work. So picking 2 or 3 to focus on, the ones that give you the most energy, the ones that you feel like tailor the most to your unique gifts as a person, that's what's gonna help grow your business.
Yeah, so we're gonna go over all of these pillars, and so we want you to think about through the whole time, which 2 to 3 do you wanna focus on and master at? So when we go through each one, see what resonates with you and just write it down as well.
Yeah.
All right, so the first one up is social media. So social media is a lot bigger now. Wasn't used to be a tool to use, but people actually get buyers and sellers from it. So you can pull leads from social media if you're using it correctly. So me and Randa are both very big at social media. We both post at
Every
least,
day.
yeah, like at least 5 times a week, either a video or something. We always post on our stories. We're very active on it, and we've both gotten leads from social media and converted them into clients. So some of the big stuff that we want to focus on, with me, a lot of I do is branding. So like if you go on my social media, you can see, like if someone goes to my Instagram, they know exactly what I do and who I help. So if you can see this, I have a banner on my Instagram. It says exactly, it says my name, that I'm an escrow, how I help people. And so if anyone goes to my profile, they see it right away. And I also, in my bio, I say exactly what I do. A lot of people are like, I'm, no offense, a dog mom, or a dog mom, or like SDSU alumni, or they say stuff like that, which people can resonate with and people can like you for that. But if you don't also state in there exactly how you're helping someone or how you help your clients, how do they know they're going to pick you for their business? Because the whole point of this is to get leads and to get business. So I help realtors and investors get deals with my marketing tips. I help buyers and sellers with exceptional escrow services. So I say exactly who I help and how I help them. And then also the most important thing, your name right at the top, not your username, but your name is the only searchable item on Instagram. So if you don't have in there San Diego Realtor, Carlsbad Realtor, Mission Hills Realtor, whatever part that you are specific in, and you don't have Realtor on there, that is a huge miss for you guys. So if anyone searches in the search program San Diego Realtor, you're not probably popping up. Anyone that has that in their name is popping up. And I've known people that I've literally gotten deals just from a search engine on Instagram, and because their name was on top. So it's really big to know all the tips and tricks of Instagram of how to actually get business from it. And so definitely if you guys have questions on that, I have a great like social media person I can connect you with, and there's little tips that I can help with too. I'm not obviously a professional Instagram, professional at escrow, but I do know a lot of good tips. But we can also direct you in the ways to help you grow even further. But yeah, so that was a big thing on Instagram, is branding yourself and getting yourself out there. Because now whenever I'm around, they're like, oh my gosh, I follow you on Instagram. I'm like, oh, like I've never met this person before. I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, I hope I follow them back. But people will come up to me like, oh my gosh, like you're Briana. I was like, oh, hey, like it's just so funny. If you keep posting and people keep seeing you, you're gonna get recognized, you're gonna be top of mind, and that's how you get orders or deals. But the biggest thing is converting those leads into deals. And so I think you want to just speak a little bit on that right now.
Yeah, so a big thing too with social media is, like Briana said, making it really clear what you do on there. But then also picking 3 to 5 things that you want people to associate with you. So that's how you build a brand. Obviously, real estate is going to be one of them, but then you can pick other things that are personal to you, like maybe dog mom or SDSU alumni, or I know Josh is big with like humor, and that's kind of part of his brand. So picking 3 to 5 things that you want people to know you for, and sometimes your sphere will be the ones to tell you what those 3 to 5 things are, and then you can narrow in on those. Like, I know for me, people are always like, oh, you're always in the gym, or oh, you have a French bulldog, or things like that.
Yeah.
And so, or events, you know, real estate, mortgages. So all of those things are like trigger topics that when they think of those things, they also think of me.
And I had nothing against with posting dogs. I post my dog all the time. I was just saying in the bio, just to keep that clear.
Yeah, I mean, really, you want to be posting real estate content, but you also want to be posting content that's personal, because I know people like to say like it's not personal, it's business, but really the two do go together. And there's thousands of realtors out there in San Diego. The reason why someone's going to choose to work with you is because of how you present things, your knowledge, but also the personal things that you're sharing with them that they might relate to. So I know a big one for me is I used to have a personal page and a business page, and I would only post mortgage stuff on my business page, and then I'd put all the personal stuff on my personal page. But that did 2 things. One, it split my time up. So I was posting on here, and it was just kind of getting convoluted. included. And then it also wasn't linking those things together. So I actually ended up deleting my personal page, and now I just put everything on my mortgage page. Unless you're someone that's posting like half naked pictures or something, then maybe keep this separate.
Then you should have a private where it's probably, you know, private account.
Yeah.
But still, you want to share your personal stuff on your business to show a little bit of who you are.
Yeah.
This is a relationship business. People are going to choose you because they like you and they want to work with you. So if you're sharing content, exercise, your dog, what you like to do during the day, on top of it, mortgage stuff, real estate stuff, and combining that together, people are going to choose you because of that.
Yeah. And then kind of with the 3 main platforms that I personally utilize, there's also other ones like LinkedIn and stuff, but these are the 3 that I've actually seen business come from. Business in the sense of realtor relationships where you guys are giving me referrals, but also business from my sphere and my friends and people that I've maybe even, you know, met back in middle school that follow me now. So with Facebook, a big one is joining and participating in Facebook groups that are tailored to you. So whether it's your neighborhood or like I'm part of like French Bulldogs of San Diego, different things like the fitness in San Diego, things like that. And actually taking the time to look through the posts and participate in those posts. I've gotten 2 clients from Facebook groups just by reading what people are saying. Sometimes people go on there and complain about how their landlord is raising their rent. Sometimes people are talking about different areas they want to live in San Diego. So a really good way to utilize that is to not only comment on it, but then go a step further and send them a direct message and make it personal. Just ask them questions about their situation. Don't come across like, oh, I can help you. Just kind of ask more questions and see if there's a solution there for them. With TikTok, you definitely can recycle your Instagram Reels or posts that you're using on there. But the big thing for TikTok that I've found is 1, using trends and using trending sounds, but also creating a niche on there. So my TikTok looks different than my Instagram in the sense where Instagram is a lot of just like personal stuff, collabs with people, all my different relationships and things like that. TikTok has only like mortgage payment breakdowns and then some mindset stuff on there, but all the videos look the same. And I found that works the best for TikTok, and also having a hook. So like, this is the most expensive home in San Diego, or what 800,000 can get you in San Diego, things like that. That's going to grab people's attention quickly. And then when it comes to Instagram, a big thing that changed my engagement, my following, and just people recognizing me more is posting on my story every single day. So I know a lot of people like to post just like the words and things like that, and that's great. But posting what you're doing, posting videos of you personally talking to the camera, it doesn't necessarily have to be about real estate. It can be about a podcast that you just listened to, or a book that you read, or something that you're learning in the industry, or a conversation you had with a client. People love that, and they do engage with those things.
Story time is huge. So if you guys have a story with a client, share it with your audience.
Yeah.
I mean, they can connect that way so much faster if you just share stories and they can relate to it.
Yeah. And then kind of like Briana mentioned, posting, I mean, we post like almost 5 times a week, but posting at least 1 to 2 reels or posts a week is really helpful and just helps with brand awareness. And then being an interactor on social media as well is huge. How can you expect people to comment on your stuff if you're not commenting on theirs? So I always make it a goal to interact with at least 10 people a day, whether it's commenting on their stories or commenting on a post of theirs, and not just commenting like the fire emoji, actually commenting something that's
Some words.
Yeah, something that can maybe
sentence.
spark up conversation. And then a big thing that I've found and has gotten me a lot of followers, like especially in San Diego, is collabing with San Diego businesses. So if you go to a restaurant or a park or an event or a coffee shop, making a little reel about that coffee shop and then collabing with that coffee shop that has 15, 20, 30,000 followers, and then they're all seeing your page as well. Josh has built a big brand on social media. Do you want to share anything that you've learned from growing that? When did you start?
We started August 2023.
Okay.
And then we got to 10,000 pretty quick. We've had multiple reels go over 1 million. It's basically what you're saying, posting your story, stuff that's relatable. My stuff's just funny.
Yeah.
Really funny.
Yeah. I tend to gravitate more towards the humor side just because I think the real estate side's missing that in a way. I'm targeting real estate agents. You guys are probably looking for more clients, so just post your story, your everyday things that you're doing, and show more value is the key. Just real big value for everyone on there. Make it free. Like everything we do is free for people, and there's no like security guard blocking us and delivering all this value to people. So just all the value you can get. Randa's monthly payment breakdown is huge for people. And then the last thing is go live. I know you guys are all nervous about going live, but TikTok, I started going live 2 weeks ago. I got 8 leads just off going live, which is crazy. And then they shut it down, and then
Now it's back.
yeah, now it's back. But the algorithm changed just in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
But hopefully it comes back to normal, and live will work again. Instagram live, not so much, but TikTok live will be where the money's at.
What a big thing. I just had an agent last night. She texted a bunch of her friends' family because she was going to go live at 5 p.m. So she texted me, she said, hey, can you support me? I'm going live at 5 p.m. on TikTok. Do you mind just like coming on and supporting me? So then she had like a lot of friends and family go on her first live that she's ever done. First, it's nerve-wracking, so it's nice if you have some people in there interacting with you. But like the biggest thing is like for people to like heart it, and like you can heart it like 1,000 times if you want, because if you get like the hearts up and like give gifts, so there's like certain things that you can do on there where you can just ask your friends and family to support you. And it's very nerve-wracking, but you can just think of a topic you talk about. It doesn't have to be real estate. It can be about anything. And just to get you want to just start at least. And so just to get your toes like wet a little bit. That's a great way to start that I saw her do last night. And so that is a good way to do it too. But also if you guys aren't posting on all 3 of these or LinkedIn and all of the platforms, just pick one to start with. Like if it's very scary for you guys to do videos and stuff, just pick one. Start with that, and then you can build it from there. Then you can start adding on TikTok, you start adding on Facebook. But Instagram and Facebook are linked together, so might as well just do Instagram, link it with your Facebook, and go straight to your Facebook.
Yeah.
So that's an easy 2 platforms right there. So it's just start with one if you're not doing anything at all, and start doing videos. Videos are so huge. If it's a selfie video, if it's a professional, it doesn't matter what it is. A lot of people just want the information, and don't be too down on yourself if you think that, oh, my hair doesn't look good. Oh, I look fat. Oh, I don't like how this looks. Because as long as it looks good enough, no one else cares. I'm like, no offense or anything, but everyone cares about themselves. And so if you're putting down a video just because like one hair is sticking out or something crazy, no one else sees it, and they're so thankful that you post that video because it's great information. So as long as you're providing good information, post the video, because we're all the biggest critics of ourselves. And trust me, I hated like a lot of videos I posted. I don't even look at them. I just make sure the caption looks good. I don't look at myself. I just post it.
Yeah.
Because if I criticize everything, I'm gonna be like, it's gonna be bad, and I'm gonna be in a negative mindset. And I don't wanna be in a negative mindset. I wanna be in a positive mindset. So I just always tell myself every morning I'm beautiful. But you know, it's always good to like reassure yourself, like it's okay how you look.
Yeah.
So that's like one of the biggest thing. And if you guys do need help with videos, I help a lot of my clients with videos with professional videographer. I help with scripts. I just helped a client come up with a script, and she got 4 leads from her video that she posted. So if you need help with any of that, just message me, and I can get you on the books, and we can get everything going, and I'll be there every step of the way to help guide you to get there.
Yeah.
too.
And a lot of it is practice too. Like I know if I look at my first couple posts and reels, they're so bad, like so bad. And people tell me like, oh, your videos have gotten so much better. And I'm like, okay, so that means it was bad before. But it's okay. So yeah, but yeah, just practice and getting it out there, and you'll find that the feedback you get is gonna be positive.
Yeah.
The next thing is circle prospecting. So this is a really good way to build a business and to actually fill your lead pipeline really quickly. But it's also very gritty. Like you have to be consistent. You have to be hitting the phones, not afraid of cold calling people, door knocking, things like that. This is actually a schedule that if you went to our masterclass in November, this is Michael Najjar's schedule, and he has helped over 500 families in the last 10 years?
10 years, yeah.
Yeah, so, and he does this every single day. So few hours of role playing, scripts, handling objections, and then a few hours of circle prospecting. And what that means is getting a list, getting phone numbers, which Briana can help, and Roxy back there is in title. She can help with that as well. And getting people's numbers, calling homes, calling homeowners, and just seeing if you can help them sell or buy something new. Following up on missed calls, and then always have time for your lunch, working on follow-up. And then a big thing that he said that I really liked is in the afternoon, if he has no appointments set, he uses that 2 hours to door knock a neighborhood, and you basically make the appointments yourself by doing that. So I know when it comes to door knocking, we actually had CH talk about this a few months ago.
Well, also his team has been following this exact schedule.
Yeah.
And they have already gone, how many leads have you guys gotten since you followed this schedule?
We have,
Sorry to put you on the spot.
no, you're good. I think we have 7 signed agreements, and we're averaging, with 7 agents, we're averaging about 6 or 7 appointments a week.
Woo.
Yeah, and that was from starting it after our class, the end of November. So December and like half of January, his team has gotten those leads from following this exactly. And the biggest thing is when you have a listing, don't stop prospecting. Prospecting is so huge. If you stop prospecting, your leads will stop coming in. So you have to continue staying to schedule even when you have listings.
Yeah. And then the big thing too with like role playing and stuff is if you guys feel nervous of starting those conversations or handling objections, or you're scared of like hearing certain questions being asked, I'm always up to role play with people. I've done a lot of calling. I've cold called for realtors before, helped get them leads. So I have a lot of practice in that sense. So if you want help hopping on in the morning and just role playing before your calls, feel free to text me and we can hop on and do that for 15 minutes.
Even door knocking, Randa's really good as well. So like ask her questions for door knocking, cold calling, the scripts.
Yeah.
I have some scripts as well. But yeah, if you want to role play with Randa, definitely hit her up because that is a big advantage for you.
And I think the big thing too is there's a lot of scripts out there, and you can of course follow them just to kind of make it mindless and easy. But I think the biggest tool and skill to have is to be able to listen and ask questions, because sometimes you completely miss what the person is saying if you're just following a script. So instead of going through and just automatically saying a response because it's based on the script, you missed what they just told you. That could be a key detail that you can dive deeper into and ask more questions. Like something like somebody saying, I'm waiting for a couple big things to happen in my life, so I'm probably looking at a few months down the road. Instead of being like, okay, great, blah, 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 whatever the script says, you can dive deeper into, what big life events are you expecting? And then they might start to open up, my son is going to college in this area. Okay, cool. Is moving to that area something that you might be interested in? And just kind of actually listening and taking that information and making it a real conversation. I think a lot of times we get nervous when we're talking to strangers on the phone, but it's really just like talking to a friend, listening to what they have to say and responding accordingly. When you don't have an agenda, that's like the best way to get a sale. So yeah. And I know like that was a big thing that CH talked about in terms of door knocking, is finding something personal about their property, maybe a bumper sticker they have on their car or like a decoration they have on their patio, and commenting on that and asking why it's important to them. And then it might bring up that they're a grandpa or something like that. And then you can just ask more questions and figure out what their motivation might be.
And then, like we said before, with everything, it's all about practice. Once you keep practicing cold calling or door knocking, you're gonna get better and sharpen your skills.
Yeah.
So it's really just getting out there and implementing what you want to do, the 2 or 3 pillars that you choose from today.
Yeah, and I think the big thing with circle prospecting and kind of just anything in general is staying consistent with it for at least 6 months to a year before you completely write it off as something that doesn't work. But yeah.
So going into it, farming. Farming is huge if you want to pick either a neighborhood or if you're going to farm around you if you have a listing. So a lot of this stuff I do help with my clients, but you want to start with a neighborhood that's around 200 to 300 numbers to start with. Once you really feel like you can grasp those 200, 300 homes, then you can start growing it. It's the thing is some people take on too much, like let me do 1,000, and then they never end up door knocking all 1,000. They never end up cold calling all 1,000. So just start at 200 to 300. The biggest reason we say 200 is because if you're going to do mailers, bulk mail starts at 200. If you send out anything in the mail under 200, you're going to be paying more money. So might as well do 200 to save yourself some money. But big thing you can do for farming, mailers, letters are working way better than postcards. Sometimes it can swap, but I have helped a lot of clients. I made up this letter myself, and it's super short and simple. I'm very type A, so I need people directly to the point. Let's get things going. So it's a very short letter. I sent it out for multiple of my clients, and I got 4 agents listings from it. I even had a client, when I made the letter for him, and it was around his listing, he's like, no, I think I'm just gonna do my normal postcard like I normally do. And I was like, no, just try this one time. He got a $2.1 million listing in La Jolla because of me, because I convinced him to do this letter, because it's different. Everyone else is doing postcards, and a lot of people, like, when I see my mail, I just throw everything like away. If it's a letter, like, you're like, oh, what is this? And then like you look at it real quick, and it's like, okay, if it interests you, you'll keep it. If not, you'll throw it away. But that is a big change I've seen, that letters are working. So that is huge. And then we already talked a little bit about door knocking, but consistency is so important. You need to hit those same doors. Some people, when they door knock, they switch neighborhoods and they never go to the second neighborhood twice. That is a big missed opportunity. If you stick with farming for at least a year, you will see something come out of it, but you have to be consistent. That is huge. And then also, to pick your neighborhoods, you want a good turnover ratio and a good spot where you're either very familiar with or the neighborhood that you like. And you want to go to your title person, which Roxy over there is in title, to help you pick out your farm, because you want a good turnover ratio. You don't want to be farming somewhere where there's only like 1 or 2 homes that have sold in the last year, because you're going to be wasting your time. It's going to take a lot longer for you to get your first deal. So you want to pick a good neighborhood, a good area that you like, and somewhere that you want to walk it, you want to cold call, you want to do events in it, you want to do bring community to that farm.
Yeah, I think picking a neighborhood that you see yourself in at least once a week, you want to make it easy on yourself. So.
Yeah, no, it's huge. And then also, because a big thing to do in the neighborhood are events and building community in that area. Events are a lot of work. Me and Randa both do a lot of events. We do a weekly coffee, Monday morning coffee with both of us every single Monday, 10 to 11 a.m. at Bocce Coffee. There's some regulars in here. But we have done it for what, 6 months?
6 months, yeah.
And we've had at least 5 people every single time. So it's a really good opportunity. We say, hey, look, coffee's on us. Just come on by. Let's start Monday off great with a good mindset. So if you have a farming area, what a great way to have something to door knock with. What a great way to cold call with.
Or even invite like your sphere, your friends, your family, your prospects, clients. It's having something to like funnel them to.
Yeah, you want to tell every single person that you meet, hey, I actually am at this coffee shop, and unless you want to do a happy hour, anything that makes you happy or what you want to do, choose that, make a weekly thing, and then invite everyone you know. So then every single, like, hey, I'm here every single Tuesday from 9 to 10 a.m. Whenever you want, stop by.
Yeah. And I think too, like, we kind of looked at it as, you know, it's a win-win. If no one shows up, then we have an hour work session together. It's like, you're going to be working anyways. So either working in the sense that people are coming to you and you're having real conversations, or you bring your laptop and you get to zone in for an hour at the coffee shop.
Yeah, and you can make friends with the owner, and you're bringing people to their coffee shop or their happy hour, wherever you want to end up doing it. And that's a huge connection right there. Yeah. That can be a lead for you, and you're helping their business. They're going to want to help you in return. So that is huge. And then there's also quarterly events, yearly events, monthly events. So we do a monthly, where you heard today, Strategic Agent Masterclass once a month. And so we do that event monthly, and then we both do some events on ourselves too. Like, I've started the Women in Real Estate group, and I do an event once a month, doing a self-defense class February 8th and a sip and paint February 20th. So I just bring community and bring people together of what I'm trying to build. And so that's what you guys want to do, is build community of what you want to do. It's even if it's like a hike once a month or something that you like to do that you want to get people together. But do that in your farm and invite your sphere and your influence. If you're building community, people are gonna thank you so much. And then there's also a bunch of different events you can do in the neighborhood. So there's like a garage sale event, which is, you can door knock 3 times with a garage sale event and have an excuse. You go around the first time, say, hey, I'm doing a garage sale this day for the whole neighborhood. I'll be back in 3 days, and let me know if you are in or not. You go door knock again, write down who's in, then door knock the third time with a map of the neighborhood, circle the houses that are doing it, and pass those all out. The day of the garage sale, you put all the signs out, you go stop by all the neighbors, and they're gonna thank you. They're like, oh my gosh, I've had this stuff in my garage for 20 years. I've been trying to get rid of it. And so it's just, you're helping them get faster to what they need, and they're gonna thank you so much. There's even food drives or clothes drives, or some people do pet drives, where you door knock and say, hey, I'm helping out this organization. I'll be back in a week. If you wanna leave anything at your front door, or I'll knock and you hand me stuff to take for you and donate for you. People would be so thankful for that, because they wanna donate. They just might not have the time to drive there, or it just doesn't come up for them. So like, oh, that's so easy. I leave this on my front porch and you pick it up for me and donate. I love that. So there's different things that you can be creative with. There's so many other events you can do, like Easter egg hunt, anything around the holidays are great. And you can connect with like churches, schools, community centers, because one, for churches and schools, they already have insurance. So that can also go underneath you. They usually have parking lots.
And they have the community built already.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I think all of that is super important. I've personally I've done all of these. I've done coffee hours, I've done housing happy hours every month. We did it for 5 months and got 1 VA client out of it, which honestly is great. We took an hour out of our time once a month, and the spend on it was not that much. So we definitely made our money back. I've done garage sales, I've done clothes swaps, I've done Humane Society donations. So all of those are really great, and people really do love it. Some of the things that you can use to help boost up your events is Eventbrite, meetup.com. Those two specifically, especially when it comes to like when I started my Women in Business book club, I've gotten all industries, random people from Eventbrite that come, and that really helps. Mailers help for kind of like what Briana said. You can door knock it 3 times, you can send out a mailer. Sly Broadcast is a really great resource that Briana can hook you up with. And that does
like a voice. Oh, you were gonna say?
It does like voicemail drops to people's numbers. So you just record it 1 time. Record your little invite, who you are, and then whatever list you have of numbers, it just drops it right into their voicemail. So you don't actually have to take the time calling each person in the neighborhood too.
Yeah, and then I cannot stress enough on building community. It's so important. People love being brought together and making new friends and meeting new people. So if you can build, if you want something, you're thinking of oh, I'd love if somewhere had this. You can create it yourself.
Run clubs are a big one too. If you have a farm and you are a runner, start a run club in the neighborhood. People love stuff like that.
Yeah. And when I became
or dog walks, anything.
Oh, I love
really.
that. Yeah, dog park, anything. When I became a member of the university club, they didn't have a real estate club here. And I was like, oh, well, I would want to start a real estate club because they have a bunch of different clubs here. They have book club, women's club, yacht club, golf club. They have a bunch of different ones. And so I started the real estate club here a year ago, and we do events multiple times, once a month, quarterly. And so it's just, if you see something that is not there, there's no limit.
Create it, yeah.
Create it.
And
That's
I think
the biggest
thing. Creating your own is important, but also attending the ones that are already in that area too is a good way to help meet people in that community and just build relationship there.
Yeah.
When it comes to maximizing on past clients and your sphere, this kind of ties into what we were talking about with social media, of making it really clear what you do in your bio and your header across all platforms, is also linking it to your Google business page. So when people type in your name, everything should pop up. Your Google business page, your Instagram, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, all of that stuff should pop up. You should be asking your past clients and even maybe affiliates or different business partners for reviews on your Google business page. So that's something that I always ask for. I've sent out emails to business owners saying hey, send me your Google business page. I'd love to leave you a review. And the influx of people that came back and was I want to leave you a review too. What's your Google business page? So again, starting with value and seeing how you can help them is going to reverse, and they're going to want to help you too.
One tip really quick for Google reviews, don't ask too many people one day, because if you have more than like a couple right at one day,
Yeah, it will flag
not
it.
show up.
Yeah.
So just ask one person a day.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like a big tip. I learned the hard way.
The other thing that I do with my clients is I do a donation on their behalf. So every client that I close, I've picked 4 different organizations. One supports foster care, one supports people getting out of domestic violence, one supports veterans, and then one supports animals. So I have 4 different ones, and I send out part of my closing email to my clients is, hey, I'm really thankful for your business. I want to make sure I'm utilizing the money that I'm making to make change in the world. So I'd love to donate $100 on your behalf. Pick which one resonates the most with you, and I'd love to donate that $100 on your behalf. People really love that. It makes them feel like they're doing something good by doing business with you, and they're able to pick something that speaks to them, maybe they're really passionate about, and that alone can spark up a whole bunch of conversation, like, oh, like, you know, my dad's a vet, or especially for my military clients, like that brings up a lot of relatability, people with pets or whatever. So that's a big thing that I think has made a big difference in my business and people wanting to refer people to me and do repeated business with me. Same with putting 3, 6, and 12-month check-ins. I cannot emphasize the importance of a CRM. If you don't have a CRM, you need to get one, and you need to have a follow-up task for every single contact in there. Whether you're at the point where you're super busy and you don't have the time and you need to delegate that out to maybe someone that calls for you or follows up, or put it on an automatic drip, something like that. I do weekly emails to my whole database, so my clients, realtors, anyone that I've associated with gets a weekly email from me. And especially with closing, I always do like a first payment check-in, a 3-month check-in, 6-month check-in, and then a year check-in, just to make sure everything looks good with their loan, make sure they don't want any changes to refinance. Maybe they know someone that wants to buy or sell, or just do something again for themselves. And then going based off of like events in the community, those are things that you can invite your sphere and your past clients to, just to maintain that relationship and tell them to invite people as well.
Yeah.
And then I also put on this slide, so this is my donation email that I send out to people, and then this is my weekly email that I send out. So it has a rate update, something about real estate. It has podcast recommendations, book recommendations, events going on, and either the ones that I do or just random ones in San Diego, just to add some value. So it's kind of hitting people in multiple facets, whether it's real estate, personal growth, or things to do. So if you want to copy that template, let me know. I'm happy to send it to you, and you can just plug and play with it.
Yeah, and with like a weekly, or I do a monthly, just because I feel like I don't have rates updates or anything to give too much of value each week. I think people get annoyed of me. But everyone is so different. It's your business. Do what you like to put on there. So like for me, like with my clients, I'm more like on social media. So I put like a content calendar on there each month. And then I put pop-by ideas for each month if you want to door knock. And then calendar of events if you want to give that to your clients. So I put a couple things on there, and I keep it short and sweet to the most part, and I put all my events on there. Just to make it where like people have actually replied to my newsletters and like love them, and they actually like thank me for them every month. So it's like do something where your sphere, where your people that you're mailing to is going to appreciate and really like. So just think about that, either short and sweet, really good tips, like she's giving events over there, or I get a newsletter from an investor every like week, and it's really funny. And so like humor is also like a really good one.
Yeah.
If you're funny. I'm not that funny, so I can't do it, but.
I think the big thing too is giving people multiple things to click on. So like for the book, there's a link to Amazon to buy the book. For all of the events, there's RSVP links and links to, you know, book a call with me or get pre-approved. That email goes out to over 1,000 people, and I have a 55% average open rate, which is actually really good for weekly emails. So
yeah.
People are interested in things like this. And like I said, it goes to clients and agents. It's actually more clients in there than agents. So referral program, Brianna's great at helping with this.
So if you don't have a referral program set up or want to set something up that for your past clients or your sphere just to let them know about it, there is this great book called Perk Your Sphere. It's very short. It's like less than 50 pages, big print. You can buy it off of Amazon. But basically what she talks about is building a referral program for your clients. So if you refer me one person, then you are tier 1 and you get, one of the best ideas on there is like a $10 or $20 gift card every month. So it's gonna reload every single month. So they're looking forward to that payment or that Starbucks gift card. You can do any coffee shop you want, but I recommend Starbucks because it's on every corner, and whenever they see Starbucks, they're gonna think of you. And so that's huge too, is branding yourself to something that is already branded so well. And so that's a good one, because once the year is up, they're gonna be like, oh man, I missed my coffee card that I get every single month. And so that's a huge thing for them to think, okay, I need to refer them again so then I can get my coffee, which is funny to think about, but like I'm a very competitive person, and I know like not everyone's competitive, but there's a lot of competitive people out there. At my gym, they're like, all right, if you're first, one person you get this, 3 people this, 5 people this. And I didn't even meet the thing where there's 5 people, but I referred them 5 people that month because I'm competitive and I want to win. So it's like you have clients that are competitive and want to win because they're all out there. And so if you tell them like this program, so like tier 2, if you can bake anything you want, so it's up to you. So tier 2, you get the gift card for the coffee, you get invited to exclusive dinner party. Tier 3, if you want to say the 3 referrals or you want to say 5 referrals, whatever you want to do, you get the gift card, coffee, dinner party, and invited to a Padres game where they're going to have a suite once a year. And so there's different things that you can come up with that you like to do to have, to give out to your past clients or sphere that refer you. And it's just huge for the competitive people, because I promise you, if you tell a competitive person this, they will refer you.
Well, and even just if not, they're getting something in return.
Yeah.
And I think a big thing that everyone needs to be implementing is pouring money back into your business. So sometimes it sounds like, oh, $20 every single month. That's $240 for the year, and that one client made you thousands. So
Yeah.
it makes sense to pour it back
Or you can
in.
do $10. I mean, whatever you want to do.
Is there a max, I think, that we can't go past a certain amount, because that way it'll be kind of...
Yeah, so you have to look into all the rules.
Okay.
And this is just more going off of like with a book. And I know someone in San Diego that actually put this into their business, and their business like 4X.
No, it's a really
It was
good
crazy.
idea.
But yeah, you have to look into the rules to make sure everything is okay,
compliant.
is compliant. But I'm sure there is, because I know you can give them like a gift.
Yeah.
There's like some rules, so you'd have to look into it exactly, but you can structure this however you want. So you can make it where it goes by the rules, everything's compliant. Yeah.
The compliance gift is $25, so the fact that it's monthly, you can give repeated gifts under $25. That's what makes that so brilliant. And
Right.
so the referral fee, which for our team, we try to stay away from, is $500 or less. But the $25 you can get away with all day long. So if you can layer multiple things under that $25, and then obviously you can invite people to whatever you want. So like the Padres suite, all that stuff, like you're not giving them anything of monetary value, you're just inviting them to something. So that's why most of that stuff stays super compliant.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely make sure it's compliant. But there's different ways you can end up doing it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But this is huge. I know people that put this into their business. I'm telling you guys, if you're competitive, there are a lot of competitive people out there, they will refer you someone. They will find someone just to, even if they don't want the prize.
Yeah. Okay, open houses. These are a really great way to get leads. They're warm leads that are walking into the houses that are interested in buying, or neighbors too. Doing 3 open houses a week, if this is something that you're choosing as a lead gen pillar for yours, you need to be doing at least 3 a week. Inviting your sphere, inviting your prospects, inviting your leads. If you're also pairing it with farming, doing open houses in your farm is really important. Doing as much research on the properties and the location, schools nearby, local community centers, what there is to do, busy streets, things like that are really important. Door knocking the neighborhood beforehand, meeting all the neighbors, asking if they have any friends or family that are interested in moving into the neighborhood is a great way to utilize the people that already love living there to bring more people to your open house. Doing a minimum of 14 signs. I do open houses with agents that have 2 or 3 signs out, and it's not good, you guys. You need to be doing 14 signs. I've personally put out signs for a realtor before, and what I did is I printed out a map of the neighborhood, the surrounding streets, located all the main streets on that map, and I planned out where I'm going to be putting the signs on those busy streets, what direction of traffic is the busiest, that's the best to put the signs out there. And I know like a lot of the ones that I always notice are the signs that have like a big open house flag attached to it too, is always like a bonus on there. But a minimum of 14 signs. If you don't have some, we can maybe help you guys with that, or borrow some from somebody, but you need a lot of open house signs. Having something unique is always really cool. Coloring books for kids that come in is a really great value add. If you give someone's kid something, they will like love you forever. Taco trucks, Josh does a taco truck at all of his open houses, or for agents that give us listings or off markets and stuff like that, we'll do taco truck. And it's not that expensive. It's like $500.
Yeah, max.
So if it's your listing, you should be investing in that, and people that come through the open houses freaking love the tacos. Gift bags too, if you're looking for something cheap. I've gone to open houses that have the little thanks for popping by with popcorn inside. You can literally make that yourself, and popcorn is like the least expensive thing to have. So those are always really cute. The open house feedback sheet, I actually got that from Floor. Instead of having a sign-in sheet, utilizing something like this, instead of just being like, oh, please put your name, number, and email, it seems so like impersonal and salesy. This is an actual feedback sheet where they can put their name, number, and email still, but then they express what their real estate needs are. They express their feedback on the home, the location, exterior, interior, what they like or didn't like about it. Sellers also love to see things like this because it helps them better sell their home. And then basically asking follow-up questions. Have you been pre-qualified for a mortgage? If not, send them my way. Are you currently working with a real estate agent? Things like that. So this is a really great tool. I'll email this out to everybody too so that you can have it and just print it to have at your open houses. I know Bree just had an experience at an open house.
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, I went to open houses. I probably hit about 7 of them in a day. I didn't go as an escrow person. I just went as like looking, and I wanted to see what the real estate agents did in each open house. And it was so crazy, the difference. If you don't know the knowledge of the neighborhood, they're not going to use you because there are a bunch of people that they can go to, and their knowledge is way up here of the area. So I went to La Jolla, and we asked each agent like questions and stuff. And some agents would be like, oh yeah, La Jolla, they'd give it as La Jolla as a whole and give the stats of it. And then I went to another open house, and the guy was like, oh yeah, well, what are you looking for? What do you need? Oh, La Jolla Shores has this. La Jolla Heights has this. If you want to go over to the country club area, or there's Maryland's, but there's also Old Maryland's, there's West Maryland's, there's East Maryland's. And he went into every single neighborhood into La Jolla, telling me every single part about each of them. And I was all like, if I was going to pick a realtor, I would 100% choose him because he's like actually knows the area, knows what he's talking about, knows what my needs are and what neighborhood I actually want to live in. Because if you don't know the area that well, there were like other people where they just kind of didn't really know how to answer the questions, or they just gave me a very broad answer, which wasn't what I'd be looking for if I'm looking for being a buyer in the area. Also another agent, they were like at the end of the open house, and he's like, let me drive you around. I'm gonna show you everything. So he showed us, we hopped in his car, we went around the area, he showed us each neighborhood, different, what we're looking for, different schools, different things. And it was such a cool experience where like he had the opportunity to take time out of his time and to show us around. And so there's different ways to stand out compared to other people. You're not always going to be able to like have someone jump in your car, but at least if you know the neighborhoods and know the areas, that was huge. The people that didn't know, I was like, in my head, I was like, I would never want to like have you represent me if you don't even know the area I want to move to. So if you're doing an open house, do your research. It is so important. And there's maps, like if you want maps of neighborhood names and everything in each city Title can get that for you. They have maps and it can pinpoint each single neighborhood. So you can have that at your open house and be like, yeah, come over here, come look. There's this neighborhood, the school's right over here. Oh my gosh, there's so many families in that area. So knowledge is so important. So if you guys don't have those subdivision maps, get that from Title. Roxy definitely has them. So that is so important to either, she can print them out for you so you can have them at your open house, or digitally so you can zoom in and look at every single neighborhood as well. So if you do not have those are so important. So
yeah, and I find a lot of agents, like, they'll take some time to educate themselves on the actual property, but honestly, I feel like that's less important than fully educating yourself on the area and what you can speak to in the area about the neighborhood, local coffee shops there, good food, things like that. Because that property specific stuff is actually, if you don't know it, it's a great reason to follow up with people. So if you're like, hey, this isn't my listing, but I can get more information on this part of the house that you're asking about, great reason to get their number and follow up. But being an expert on the area is really what's gonna make you stand out. So if you're already kind of spending time educating yourself, I would educate yourself more on the area rather than the actual home.
And when you're door knocking, ask the neighbors, what do you like best about this neighborhood? What brought you to this neighborhood? Ask them questions where you can educate yourself for that open house.
Yeah.
So that is huge too. Knowledge is power.
Okay, so
Yay. This is our favorite part.
yeah, this is our favorite part. Think about the things that resonated with you guys the most out of all those lead generation pillars. What you feel like excited you the most, inspired you the most, what's unique to your individual gifts. I did a 75 Hard Business Edition at the end of 2023 going into 2024, and it's honestly probably like one of the biggest reasons why my business skyrocketed last year. I did December, January through February, and I picked 7 of these things basically. I was doing calls, I did Facebook groups, I did a video, social media, read 10 pages, journal, and what else was it? I think it was like texting people or something like that. But every single day for 75 days, weekends included. It's called 75 Hard for a reason. So it's gonna get you out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
It's gonna be difficult to still do all of these things on days that you don't want to, or you feel like you might be busy. I actually did a week in Florida at Disney World, and I still did my 75 Hard every single day.
She made her phone calls in line.
In line, I did my
texting,
videos
she did
in line.
everything she needed to do.
Yeah, and it really helps get your priorities in order. And I feel like that thought of, well, I don't have enough time in the day to do all of these things, this forces you to do them. So we want to challenge you all to start with us on Monday. So we have a 75 Hard accountability sheet that we're going to email out to everybody. And you're not going to be doing all of these things. You're going to be picking 7 of them, whatever ones you want to do. One open house every single day. If open houses are your lead generation pillar, try doing one every day for 75 days, and I promise you it's gonna change the game. Same with making 20 calls, comment on 2 Facebook groups, post one story, either post one video, either a story or an actual post on your social media every single day of you talking about something real estate, something personal, whatever. Engaging with 10 people on social media, texting 10 people in your contacts, reading 10 pages, 1 journal entry, door knock 10 houses, implementing a weekly event and inviting 5 people every single day to that weekly event, even if it's just a coffee hours or things like that. If you don't have the funds, you also don't have to offer paying for their coffee. You can just invite them to come.
Yeah.
Doing 1 open house every day, and then asking 5 people every day for business referrals. So I promise you, if you want to level up your business for this year, doing 7 of these every day for 75 days will work. I promise.
This is how you're gonna actually double your business, is implementing what we're teaching into your daily lives. So this is why we're not gonna start until Monday, because we want you to, if you don't have your goals written down, write down your goals, write down what you wanna hit this year, what you wanna do, pick 2 to 3 pillars, what you wanna focus on, and then go through this and pick 7 things. And what we're gonna do is we'll have either like an Instagram chat or Facebook group, something where we're gonna have everyone community together. So each day you can say, finish my 7 activities. So everyone's keeping each other accountable. And we're also like send this out to everyone so you can mark off each day. And then also, if you want to track it better, so I kind of took the greatness track a little bit, but different. So I put my 7 things on here, plus like a couple extra, on here. So it's Monday through Sunday. And I'm going to exit off each time I do it every single day, so I know I can go through all my activities.
Yeah.
And then for like the calls, I left like a little bigger area so I can just like dash, so I can at least have 20 dashes, and then I know that I completed it. So if you guys want this or something customized to the 7 you choose, reach out to me and I'll customize it for you as well. Because the biggest thing is to track. If you're not tracking, you're not going to be able to hit your goals, or at least see if you hit them.
Yeah.
And so we'll send out both of these, or this one, and then if you want customized, just let me know, I'll create it for you. But we're very excited for this. This is how implementation is the biggest thing. And I think that's what a lot of happens. Like when you learn so much stuff, it's so hard to implement it right away, or you go on to something else.
Yeah.
And so this is how we're gonna get you to actually start implementing 75 days. We're all doing it together. Me and Randa picked 7 as well. So these are our 7. So you guys can keep us accountable. We're gonna do this every single day for 75 days, on the weekends too. I don't cold call on the weekends, but now I'm gonna be calling on Saturdays and Sundays. So.
And I feel like all these things are bite-sized too. Like you might be looking at this and being like, well, there's some days I make way more than 20 calls, and that's great, but I doubt you're making 20 calls every single day. And if you're trying to build a business, you need to be doing these bite-sized things every day. And if you do more, that's awesome. But this is something to stay consistent with every single day. I know for me, I've tried the paper greatness tracker and I'm not great at keeping track of it on paper. So putting reminders, like I did a reminders list in my phone where I have it on there, and then I can just like click it and check it off that way. If you have a CRM, adding those things to your tasks and marking it off that way. Whatever way is easiest for you, but you do need to be tracking it. You do need to be checking it off. And then every single day sending the accountability that you did it. And then we'll check back in on, I think it was April 9th, and we'll see where everyone's business is at.
Yeah, and every day we'll start the chat. So we'll contact everyone to see who wants to participate in the 75 hard. And then every day, just when you finish it, say, I completed it. We'll say like the rules in there, but, and it's just to have a community as well. If you have questions, if you have a great response, like, oh my gosh, I just did my 5th open house and I got a lead. Like, we want to celebrate you, and everyone wants to celebrate together. I mean, there's so much business out there. We can all help each other grow. It doesn't mean we have to be so like cutthroat against each other. We can all be here for each other.
Yeah.
And grow together.
Yeah. And then, so just based on all of that, do some people in here have an idea of which 2 to 3 lead gen pillars they want to focus on? Raise hands.
CH?
Okay, what are yours?
So for asking for referrals, it's going to be posting every day. Do you guys mind going back?
Oh yeah,
to the 7.
And then 10 people in the contacts.
Okay.
Yeah, those ones are big for me.
Nice. Anyone
And then
else?
so you'll also pick 7 of these, just so you guys know. And then what we want for the pillars, right here. These were the 2 to 3 pillars that you pick from, and then pick your activities off
based
of those.
on these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Cool. Does anyone have any questions?
Did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm gonna more open houses, and I'm not the best at asking for referrals from my past clients, so I can work on that too.
Love that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Roxy?
I don't have a question. I have a statement. You know, I've been doing this business for a really long time, and I've had an incredible ride. It's a privilege to be involved in moving people from one home to another. And I've been in a lot of training. I've been coached myself as well. And I know that the psychology of selling is something that's usually missing when we're giving people ideas. And listening to your story allowed me, because I've already had my interview with Randa, but listening to the story allows me to understand what discipline looks like. And when you're choosing, you being the team leads, and you're choosing your team, so that when you walk into a listing appointment, you can confidently say, it is my job not only to take you from one place to the next, but to find the best talent in the entire county that will be working on your transaction. So these are my people, and when you add your title and your escrow people, those women who have learned how to be self-maneuvering, right? So powerful, when no one's looking, they're getting up in the morning and hitting it. Somewhere along the line, I think, I could care less if they weren't the very best at what they do, but it means everything to me if they focus on making sure that I'm in the best service possible. And I want to acknowledge you both for making that happen today, because a lot will go over these people's heads. I already know that. But I also know that they'll never be able to take away that fire and that hustle. That makes success for all of us that are in the room. I will be referring, because I'm a master referrer. That's my job. I know what I received a $285 million transaction just from storytelling, the things that you're saying. The evidence is so real. And your people are digital now. They're digital.
Yeah.
They're in this box. They're here. So I acknowledge and I appreciate you both.
Thank
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I have
Yeah.
a question.
Yeah.
So Jasmine and I are trying to build up our clientele in the real estate agency, and on the way over here, as we're starting to do these events, we're saying, okay, we're starting to get contacts, and you're saying do your 20 calls a week. How are you guys keeping all of those contacts on some type of list? I'm not gonna make an Excel spreadsheet.
CRM.
CRM.
What is that?
So,
an app or?
So it's, I don't know what CRM stands for,
Yeah, me
actually. Okay, there you go. But there's a bunch of different ones. I personally use Follow Up Boss. That's a great one. Lofty is a great one.
I use Go High Level.
Go High Level. It's basically a database that you can put all your contacts in, and you can like send out emails, send out texts through there. You can have tasks. So like,
Is it an app?
So
they have apps. It's online.
Yeah, so there's so many different platforms you could use. So it's software, so yeah, it can be on the website. A lot of them do have apps as well. I mean, most of them should. But there's so many different ones. So kind of matters what you're looking for. There's free ones. There's all the way up to paying a lot of money each month for one. Just matters what you're looking for. I would look for the most basic, easiest one first to start with.
Yeah.
And free.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of talk about, I can help you with that too. Just to like get you started, and then you can write tasks on everything, email drip. There's so many different things you can go through.
It's worth it, because I used to, for like the first year, just use an Excel spreadsheet and try to keep track that way. And it was not, yeah. And it honestly, like, getting a CRM and using that really scaled my business. So
Yeah.
it's worth, even if you do have to pay monthly for it, it's worth the investment.
And yes, all CRMs are so different. So like for me, I use Go High Level because where you guys all signed up and RSVP'd for this class is all through my CRM. I have I have multiple landing pages through it, my website's through it. I do everything through my CRM where it's all connected. I do my newsletter throughout my CRM. I mean, it is more on the expensive side, but since I throw a lot of events and I need platform for someone to go, I wanted it all in one. That's why I chose that. So it kind of matters what you're looking for, what you need, but you want to start usually at the basics at first.
Yeah.
Are there any
other
questions?
Well, thank you so much,
Yeah,
everyone,
thank you,
for
guys.
coming. Good job.